Hi, everyone, and welcome to Part 2 Book Club. First of all, probably a few apologies. This is our first podcast. We are just four busy women who have decided to share their journey of midlife, friendship, perimenopause with the world. And we are definitely not professionals when it comes to editing or content. We're really just giving things a go. So do forgive us for a few of the little amateur edits. And I also want to apologize personally for my daughter, who you will hear in the background occasionally throughout the podcast. But hey, that's what makes it real. That's what makes us real. We're not professionals. We're just muddling through life like everybody else. So we really hope you enjoy the podcast. And please follow us on socials. We're on Instagram, part2_book club. But without further ado, here is episode 1 of Part 2 Book Club. Enjoy! I am here with my beautiful co-hosts, Sarah Elaine Moses, also known as Shades, to only herself. Shan Shaharia Winter Rice. That is her actual name. I did not make that up. Hi, Shani.
Well, not the winter rice. It's just rice now.
Not for, you're always winter to me. And Alicia Arafin.
Woo woo.
So I guess we should probably cover like why we are all here, I suppose. So does anyone want to do a synopsis of the why Part 2 Book Club even exists?
I'm here for you guys.
So it's just sheep
And your
Oh,
midlife crisis.
for the right. Well, I can talk about my midlife crisis. Well,
Yeah,
part of my
talk about all our
crises.
midlife crises.
Can I throw in one though, which is
do you
the
have-
perimenopause, the self-diagnosed perimenopause
Amen, sister.
in the group.
Amen.
Yeah,
Which
yeah, the blood test told me I didn't have it. Didn't have
Same.
the bird.
well, it lied.
I agree. I agree. It's a lie, right? Like
Total
Yeah.
lie. Total
male
lie.
doctor
I think
telling me I
you
haven't
can-
got perimenopause.
you can start it in your late 30s, I believe, or maybe even younger,
think
and
it's
then it can
5 it can start.
and last for 4 years. So, but yeah, if you look at all the symptoms, yay! I think I'd probably tick off most of them, yay!
Lucky.
So this is to keep me from not crying every night. Just,
Oh, Liz.
oh no,
You
not
cry
really.
you don't cry every
No.
night, do you?
I don't cry every night.
Okay.
Like most, no, I'm joking.
Oh no, it's just that we can.
Just every other night.
No, every other night.
We'll
Just
talk
during
about
the
that.
day.
We'll talk about that next week. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Sarah, I mean, this is a segue into your midlife crises, which is
I don't cry
the
every night.
exercise, the exercise, the other kind of.
Yeah, there's more dangerous midlife crisis, I think.
Yeah,
It's a good
that's a positive one.
It's a good one. It's a good one. The sort of like exercise obsession. It's not an obsession. It's just like
An obsession.
it just makes me feel good. Like it's like, you know, because like I'm 40 and I've got a bit defiant at 40 of, you know, being like I'm going to do stuff I couldn't do when I was 20. So push-ups, pull-ups, the crab. I'm working on the crab.
Crab.
You know,
So
you
like a
get
back bend? Oh yeah.
where you like
a bridge.
You know, where you like lie down and you like push yourself.
Yeah. Bridge. Yeah.
Bridge. Crab. It's called the crab.
Crab bridge.
Around like
Bridge.
And you can walk on your hands.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, and then that thing where like you
My back honestly, my back just hurt thinking about that. I didn't even do anything. My body was like, no.
No, I think that's it. I think it's getting to 40 and going like I'm not dead.
That's true.
I mean, that's extreme.
Lovely.
But you know, when you were 20, but honestly, when you were 20, didn't you think of 40-year-olds as like super old?
Like midlife, yeah.
Not even midlife, like really old.
Sometimes I sit back and I think about there's two things that sometimes I go through my head. One is I probably shouldn't, like, I have a child unsupervised. Like, do we think that's okay? Like, I'm completely unsupervised with the child. Like, totally. There's no other adults around. And then second, 40 is like legit adult age in my head, right? Like,
doesn't feel it.
but I don't adult at all. I've made some of the most insane choices of my life since I turned 40. Like,
Yes.
were they 40-year-olds when we were young? Like, were the 40-year-olds that we like saw, were they doing this? Like, is this the same? Like, were they feeling the same? Like,
Yeah, I just don't think we
Yes.
they
saw
weren't
it.
showing
Feeling
it.
the same, possibly, but like if you look back to the Golden Girls TV show,
Yeah.
like some of them were 40, 50, and I'm like, they look about 80.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's
J-Lo,
true.
that's not us.
I read a stat.
J-Lo.
J-Lo's 52 or 53. And you know, like the main character in the Golden Girls, apparently she's in the Golden Girls, she's the same age as J-Lo.
Which is insane, because J-Lo, like,
I thought
toned.
the Golden Girls were like 80.
Yeah,
That's what I mean, yeah.
I mean, they look at it.
Generationally different.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think 40-year-olds now are just younger, right? I feel like 40-year-olds now are younger.
Yeah, but I still think 20-year-olds look at us and go, there goes the elderly.
Do you
No,
really?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yes, I do. But you're saying that because you're 40 and you know you're not elderly.
No, but like,
No, I don't
yeah,
think
think they think
20-year-olds
we're
would specifically
elderly.
look at us and think we're elderly, but they might think 40 as an
Devastatingly old,
age
then.
is.
I don't think they look at us like we look at the Golden Girls. Let's put it that way. I don't think they look at us like, okay, they're on their deathbeds.
Not deathbeds.
You know, but
other
close
day I
to.
Look at that group of girls, they've got one foot in the grave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a bit like, yeah, a bit.
Why look at me like that? Because when I stand up, I'm like, oh.
I'm actively going against this. You know, when I stand up, do you know what I'm like? I'm like, pow. Like,
Yeah. So I think though, Sarah, you and I are rebelling harder than the other
See,
two
I've got to
because
go
we're
down
like,
there. I
let's
don't know if
go
I'm down.
clubbing, let's like stay out and get
at least I
really
have definitely
wasted.
gone the
You've
other
gone
way. Yeah.
Accepted.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
41.
we stand up and we go, do you want me to like touch my toes? Because I will.
There we go. Shots.
So,
What's it called again?
those of you who are still with us,
If anyone.
there is actually a book review that is going to happen. So the book this week, month, whatever, however often we're going to be doing this.
This quarter at
This
the
time.
This quarter. Yeah, because poor old Sarah's got to find time to read. Is Runaway Love by Melanie Harlow. Sean, this was your choice, right? Do you want to do like the quickest of synopsises, given you've got the
synopsis?
I can't even remember what the hell it's. Okay.
of the book,
read this,
why you chose this book to be our first.
So
That's
I
a
was
good
given
thing.
a brief of don't throw us in the deep end with the smut. So I thought, who is an author that I've read that I know will be good, or I think will be good? I think there are some disagreeing in the group, but who is an author that I think will be good? And I set a brief for myself that was Hallmark with sex. And Melanie Harlow kind of fits that bill for me. As an author, I've read a few of her books before. I hadn't read this one, which is why I chose this one. And I thought, you know what? The synopsis sounded a bit Hallmarky. It's a small town romance. A bride runs away from her own wedding. She ends up interviewing in her wedding dress for a grumpy single dad who needs a nanny for X amount of time. And that is the basic, very, very nutshell synopsis. He hires her, obviously.
So obvious.
And that is the why I chose it as well. Hallmark with sex. There we go. I don't remember anything else, so if everyone else could take over, that'd be great.
Check your tabs.
I know, but I just like highlighted sex.
I think it's also important to note for anyone listening, our one and only person who's listening, which is probably going to be my mum, let's be honest. But
no.
I said cotton bonnets in the beginning. We got your mum can't listen to this.
Anna, still love it. She knows what we're like. It's also important to note that Sian, because she is a prolific reader, and when I say prolific, go follow her on Sian_swoons on the old Insta, because old mate does like 30-40 books a month, like crazy. It was actually quite tricky to find a book that she hadn't already read, so we also had that criteria, which to find the book. So Anyway, so I reckon we start with so maybe we can start a little bit with like what was everyone's sort of overall thoughts and impressions. Like maybe we'll start with Sarah because she has really perfect thoughts.
More fresh.
Go in negative, okay.
Do we start with the negative?
Well, no, I said yours are more fresh and pretty negative.
I wrote some note.
Okay, good.
Excellent. I'm gonna see if I can get
refresh
my up on here.
I think it would be better as a movie, because then it would only take 1.5 hours to get through.
Right, and J-Lo could play the bride. Or is
Oh
she a
my
bit too
god,
old
it's
for it?
actually exactly a J-Lo. Oh no, she's too old, I reckon.
Too old, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, anyway.
That sort
It'd
of
be
sums
better
up
as a book because it'd only be an hour and a half long.
it would be better as a movie, because then it would have only taken me 1.5 hours.
Too funny.
Look, I found it poor. It's really
What
bad
way?
because she might be a really nice person.
I'm sure she is lovely.
Well, we won't tag her.
We're gonna unfollow this.
Sure, she is a really nice person.
Sorry, Melanie. Sorry, Melanie.
You don't go to a restaurant and have like half-cooked chicken and be like, "Oh, I don't really want to leave a bad review because the chef might be a really nice person."
Yeah, but that's how I felt about it. Like, I read it going like, I kept going back to US Today's best-selling author and being like, oh, like, it's just it was a lot of words for what
not a lot of plot.
For not a lot of plot. I think that was it. For not a lot of plot. And it was very predictable. Very predictable. I think that there wasn't anything like
Hallmark.
I understand. Yeah, I understand the whole Hallmark. But I didn't like the characters. I liked the kids up until Zara said. I think that the kids were annoyingly good, and I was like, actually, yeah, the kids are not children. Yeah. So then the kids became non-believable to me as well. And I just don't believe that. And some of it was so cheesy, but like also cheesy and like an aggressively like smutty kind of like, hey, do you want to come around for dinner? I'm serving up your favorite dish. Like,
wow.
Wow.
Can I go next? No, I'm not as harsh.
I might be wrong. I've never done it personally. Been like, hey, come over for lunch. If you guys have, bye.
No, but it's
not
real life.
I found it a little.
No, I've not done that.
I'm with Alicia. It's not real. Like, it's escapism, though. Like, isn't that?
Yeah, but it was. It was more for me. Dull escapism.
Right.
So,
and she might be really nice.
Oh, she's very nice.
I hate saying anything bad about someone, and this is her job.
She's a US best-selling author, and she's written.
Just to be clear, though, she still sold 4 books.
So, yeah,
right.
True.
So then I was then judging myself that I wasn't able to like, you know, like, you turn a page, like, and you're like, and I was having to, especially for the first half. It got quicker once they started having sex. But for that first half, but then you had like that sort of like, say, quarter of the book that was like really good, and then it became like really bad vanilla again, like the back end, like, like, hey, I'm changing my flight, but I haven't told him. I'm going off to the airport, but I'm going to go to the bar first, to say goodbye to my friends I've made in the last few weeks, and then he runs in and.
Well, don't give the ending away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
move on to someone else.
I read it. So I read it by the pool on holiday, and I think as a poolside easy read, Hallmark, it definitely ticked the boxes. I read it in 2.5 days. But I had time, Sarah. I had like all day, every day to read it. The thing that got to me, and maybe from a different angle, is I didn't like him as a character. I didn't like her so much, but I didn't like some of the like the language they were using. Like, maybe this is a romance thing, Sean, but like, oh, baby girl, and the growly voice, always like the growly voice.
Okay,
like,
growl. There's always growl.
There's always
Baby
growling,
girl is a
always
big.
like so moody. And it's like, oh, this girl's trying to like, oh, turn
That
this
is
man who's really
actually a
moody
trope,
to be
though.
like,
That is actually a trope. That it's called
is
Grumpy
a trope.
Sunshine
There
or
we go.
Black Cat Labrador,
Yeah.
Golden Retriever.
And I thought that she was a bit too like, you know, she cared a bit too much about like this Austin guy. You know, what's he doing? Will he like me? Of course he fucking likes you. Like, it's obvious. Some of it was so annoying. You just want to throw the book at them, at her. And at the end, I'm like, okay, it's only been a year, and he proposes. Like, give it a bit longer, dude.
Yeah,
You know,
it was quite quick, wasn't it?
give it a bit longer. You've just
Ronnie.
come out of a relationship, Ronnie.
In
This is
Romance
all kind of.
Land, when you know, you know. In
Oh,
Romance Land, so a trope I do struggle with, and thankfully wasn't in this book, is the insta love. When they've been together like 2 weeks, the whole book spans like 2 weeks, and they're
yeah,
engaged by the end, and you're like, what?
yeah. But
What?
also, it was
The
vanilla.
woman
So
who
I
had
think,
a 20, what was it, 10-year
Oh,
relationship.
10-year relationship before we got married.
yeah. But no, with Sarah though, I thought it was vanilla. I thought the sex was just a bit dull, not much going on. Yeah, nothing that interesting. So they needed to like crank it up a notch. Snake sex,
Snake sex.
throw
Next.
Can you
some
imagine if, like,
snakes in the room.
in small town, sorry,
Small town wherever they are. Where
Small
are they?
town America.
Betty?
A half snake, half
Some
man
harbour.
creature appears.
Ready to
Yeah.
impregnate the townswomen.
Yeah,
All of them.
yeah. And also, she was a bit too, like you said, she's a bit like so friendly with these people in the diner. Like
They were
she's
too
known for
friendly.
2 seconds.
They were creepy friendly. Like if I went
Yeah.
into a diner and everyone was doing that, I'd be like desperately getting out of the town.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that
She
was
stayed too
Yeah.
long. She's gonna stay there forever, though, Sarah.
She can't leave, can she?
She can't leave.
Once you're in Cherry Tree Harbour, you ain't getting out.
So that was I think as a first, I enjoyed it. Thank you, Sean. I didn't think it was so dire, but I did think it was a bit too vanilla, bit
I got there
bland.
in the end.
Mm.
Everyone's
I-
That's me.
opinion.
I really liked it. I have to say, like, not in like it challenged my brain or the characters were like particularly interesting, but like I would like to go and live in Cherry Tree Harbour or whatever the name of the place is. Like, did I particularly enjoy the characters? Not
No.
massively. Did they annoy me? Not massively. But yeah, like it was super easy reading. Like, the only thing I had was, is it a romance thing like that cock is used in every like 5 seconds? Like it felt sometimes like the whole page was just like cock, 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 cock. Like
There
Jesus.
there are some bookstagrammers who genuinely, if they download an ebook, will see, because you on an ebook you can type a word into the search bar and see how many times it comes up in the book. And I know bookstagrammers that will literally type the word cock to see how many times it comes up to see if it's smutty enough for them.
The only issue that I had with it, and I kind of agree with Sarah, characters are a bit flat. The kids were like so annoying because I was reading it with Mia around and they were like doing their chart things and like putting the dishes away and Mia was like eating dirt and like shitting sand and like I'm like, come on, bro. The thing I took like quite a lot of, I don't even know why it bothered me so much, was that whole like marking her thing.
Yes, I was going to say that. The bruising and the possessiveness of it all.
Oh,
I didn't like that.
He's a big old red flag.
Like, and even just
huge flag.
The fact that he got physical, and I know like whatever, the ex-boyfriend is a dickhead and blah blah blah, but the fact that he then got really physical with the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, over her,
ex-fiance,
and the marking her and the like liking to see it and all that kind of stuff, like I started to get a bit like, this is like I didn't like that.
I was the same. I was exactly the same.
That put me off actually a good bit.
Yeah.
He's just a bit gross, like a bit like you know.
But she was too, though. She was like, I like it, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? I mean, she's clearly got daddy issues, so
yeah, she's not like teenagers might do that, but definitely not.
I don't know. That really got me a little bit, and I was like, it was very different. Like, it's this cutesy little Hallmark story, and then all of a sudden there's this little dark. There was quite
darkness
a edge to that, and I was like, I don't really like that at all.
I don't see the marriage working.
I'm with you. I think she's going to leave that small town after a year.
In the long run, I don't necessarily think they were hugely compatible.
She's going to run away to New York.
I think they were just filling a gap that they both had at that point in time. Yeah. And I think that's about as deep as this gets with them. They were.
I got really. I think I got super curious about, the friend. I forget now the name of the.
Her friend. Yeah.
The girl that was friends with his sister.
Or his friend.
The one that worked in the diner, and then there was something that had gone on with the brother.
Yeah. I remember that.
I think that's book 2.
Yeah, so that was probably the bit where I was most like, I might read the next one because actually I'm curious to know like what happened there. That was pretty smart.
Ari.
Yeah.
Ari. Yeah. This was Mabel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the famous brother, the brother that's in like
Devin or Declan or Donald.
Devlin.
That one. Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
What about you, Shani?
I enjoyed it. I mean, for me, it is a pretty standard, fluffy romance, Hallmarky type romance. The marking thing was unusual for this particular trope, this particular genre. I feel like the author brought it in as like to try and give it a spicy twist outside of the standard fare, but I'm not sure it worked.
Didn't work, no.
Because there are a lot of books with marking and possession and stuff like that, but they do tend to be darker books in general. So yeah, I'm not sure it fit.
Was she trying to cross the genres? And
I feel like maybe she was just trying to bring something fresh into the trope.
Mia's like, don't cross those genres.
The fifth member of the book club, Mia.
I enjoyed the book. It's actually probably my favorite book of this author's.
Sarah, take note.
Bless you, Melanie Harlow. I won't be reading anymore.
Oh yeah, I think it's my favorite of hers. Obviously not my favorite book, full stop, but my favorite of her books. And I did like it. It's an easy read. It's, for me, one to go through really quickly. Like Alicia and Zara both said, not how you felt, Sarah, but how the rest of us felt, quick and easy.
Before we move on to what we're reading next, why don't we just do a quick summary of stars out of 5 and would you or would you not recommend? I'm dying to know what some things.
So I actually wrote this one down.
Oh,
I'm going to kick it right off with a
do
1
not
star.
recommend.
Yeah.
1 star. Do not recommend. Too predictable. Sorry.
Fine.
Fair enough. Shani?
I'm the opposite end of the spectrum. I gave it a 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I'm quite lenient with my 5s lately.
You are. Okay.
But there wasn't a lot about it that I didn't enjoy in what I was expecting from it. It was a lot of what I expected from it, so I enjoyed it. So I couldn't complain really about anything. And I did enjoy it, and I would recommend it, and I have recommended it to some people on to you. Well, I haven't read it yet. To some people on Bookstagram. I will now post my review on there now that we've had our little chat. Finally,
can I post my rebuttal?
Of course you can.
So mean.
We'll obviously repost it on the page as well. So if anyone's looking for it, you can go to our page, which is part2_book club at the Instagram. So and we'll have TikTok by the time this is out, but I just haven't done it yet.
Jesus. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Solid.
Yeesh.
In the middle. Yeah. I think it. Yeah. Listen,
I feel like you spoke more like a 2.
because if you want to read a book which you can get through by the pool and, easygoing, easy read with your cocktail, then the cocks come out. You see what I did there?
With your cocktail.
And I think it was actually good. I didn't not, if I really hated a book, I would stop reading it and just not finish it and go, I can't be done. I can't do
When
it.
you're in the book club, you make sure you finish it.
And then you gave it a 1,
I
but
did.
I read.
I did.
I wanted to finish it. I wanted to see how it ended. It was very predictable, but
I told you how it was going to end.
But an easy read and a good sort of holiday read.
Yeah. It was an airport novel, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember that when you were at
100%.
school? Your English teacher was like, there's novels and then there's airport novels.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it, do you know what? I would have given it a 3. And I think it is a 3 on the whole. But I'm gonna give it a 2 only because that marking thing actually really threw me off and has left quite a bad taste in my mouth, to be honest. It was almost like she was trying to 50 Shades it, but like out of nowhere. And 50 Shades makes sense because it's 50 Shades and they have a red room and like you can kind of expect all that shit. And I don't know. And also, I'm an ultra feminist, I guess, and also a huge advocate for like women being independent and not possessed. And like if that's what you want to do in like your own space, then I'm like all for that. Like go for it, tie yourself up, whatever, be dominated, don't mind, whatever. I just don't know if that like small town romance and then I'm gonna fucking mark you. Like
it was just disjointed. I think you're right.
Disjointed.
It was like
it
all didn't make sense. Like
if that's your bag, make it the bag. Like make him have a red room. Like, oh, you know what? That would have been really interesting, right? Like small town romance, and all of a sudden this guy's got a sex dungeon, and like you get into it and all that kind of stuff. Like, cool, great.
Plot
This is
twist.
just weird. It's like she lives above your
plot twist,
gambit.
exactly.
Yeah.
Plot twist. There's no plot twist. There's no plot twist.
Oh, zero plot twist.
It's
No. And also there's, I don't know, there was no evolution of her. She just remained a pathetic, like, I need a man to exist and survive, and I need a man to save me, and, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to give it a 2. So we've got 1 star, we've got 5 stars, we've got 3 stars. So we are on to the next book club book. And I think the general consensus, and correct me if I'm right or wrong, ladies, was no, we need it way spicier. We need like 3 or 4 chilies going on here to get us excited for the next one. So I went to the source of spice and asked for a few recommendations. A couple of them, even just Googling it, was a bit questionable, but the one that we've decided is Your Dad's.
Oh yeah.
That was Mia. She's not reading it. Your Dad Will Do by Katie Robert. And I'm gonna hold this up, but I'll also post the that's the front.
Why are we all leaning in? We've literally just ordered it today.
Yeah.
she's ready for it.
Oh, she is. Red shoes as well. Red shoes.
So this is according to sources, this is a spicy little number. And I'll just read the quick review, which is, I've been harboring a dark secret for 2 long years. I've been fantasizing about my fiance's father, thinking filthy thoughts that a good daughter-in-law should not be indulging in. So we are going to set ourselves a pretty ambitious target. I am flying from Brisbane, where I am, to London for a month. So I fly on this Saturday coming, which is just a few days away. And then the following weekend, we're actually all going to be together. So we will be doing book club podcast /
exciting.
everything.
And we've got guys, all the men can watch all the kids.
Exactly.
So we'll be in person next time. So for anyone listening, by that I mean my mum. Mum. You can follow us on Hey Mum. You can follow us on the socials. We are part 2, all one word, _ book club, all one word. We're on Instagram. We will be on TikTok. And we would love to hear thoughts. So yeah, thank you. If you managed to hold on and keep listening to this point, congratulations. But yeah, follow us. It'll be fun. We're not just going to cover books, we're going to cover life, because yeah, perimenopause, next chapter, old age.
Not old age yet.
Thanks to everyone for listening. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, maybe sooner, but follow us on the old socials. Goodbye, Sarah.
Bye.
Bye, Shani.
Bye.
Goodbye, Alicia.
Goodbye.
Isn't this like when I say goodbye to the Teletubbies? They're like, bye, Upsy Daisy. Not Upsy Daisy. Bye,
Bye, Sarah.
Bye,
All right,
team.
bye, guys.
Love you.
Love you too.
Love you.
Yeah, if you can't be good,
See
be
you
careful.
next time.
If you can't be careful, take photos.
Goodbye.
You know it.
I do.
Bye-bye.
You know.
Bye. I love you.
Bye.